Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. In today's video, I want to talk about perhaps the balancing theory that is going into the upcoming Season 2 patch. Now, obviously, recently on the channel, we've been doing quite a bit of coverage, not the least of which is actually getting hands-on with the builds of the game, playing both Akuma, and seeing some of the balance changes, and those videos will be linked in the video description if you somehow missed them. And specifically for the balance changes video, due to the nature of the video, I was somewhat time limited, so I couldn't really go into it. But the changes are a lot more interesting than just what's on their face of what we know. Now granted, also to mention here, what's in those videos, and also what's come out from other events from Japan and all that kind of stuff, this is only a small fraction of the totality of the Season 2 patch. It's gonna be big, y'all. There's a lot going on that is interesting, and there's going to be a lot more going on that we just don't know about right now that's probably going to be even more interesting. But specifically on what I have covered here in the guise of Honda, Honda's changes are very interesting. Now, Honda, I cover him because I love the character, and plus I know people don't like him, so I like being difficult. You not liking him makes me like him more. That's just the kind of guy I am. But the changes he did get some very notable buffs, but he also did get nerfed. And frankly, we all know it, like Honda is one of the worst characters in the game. But what I want to talk about in this video is why I think those nerfs are actually very smart. Like, yeah, the buffs are good too, don't get me wrong, right? Also, I got one bonus buff for you right here. So when Honda lands from butt slam, it does like 90% of a gauge in damage. I didn't notice it right away because I wasn't actively looking for it at the time, but now it does a full gauge of damage. So there you go, another Honda buff on top of already what's in the video. So he's getting a lot of buffs, right? But there is the critical nerfs, not the least of which is butt slam, right? And the distance you're pushed back after the fact. And we've already covered that in the video. But here, let me tell you why this is a good nerf. It is no mystery that Street Fighter 6 especially, like other Street Fighters, yes, but Street Fighter 6 especially, people find Honda frustrating. It's certainly not at the highest levels of play. Like, we're watching clips here from Evo Japan, right? Evo Japan and a lot of the recent, invitationals of high-level players, like, say, the Red Bull Kumite, you're not really going to find Honda represented anywhere on these at the highest levels. Because, frankly, at the higher levels of play, Honda is a garbage character. There's a reason nobody's picking him, because if you want to win at a high level, he's not a character you should pick. Because as it stands before we have the big Season 2 patch, his game plan is super gimmicky and one-dimensional. He's good at spamming headbutts and butt slams, which is really strong against weaker players, but not strong against stronger players. But then again, that's the issue. Spamming headbutt and butt slam is maybe a little too strong against lower level competition. I don't know if there's a proper term for this other than if you ever seen someone get Honda'd. You know exactly what this is, right? Honda just goes berserk and people freeze up. Here you can see spamming drive impacts, trying to survive doesn't matter. We're going to spam butt slams and it's going to work out in the end. Getting Honda'd is not very fun for anyone at any level of play, really. And the problem is the stats back this up. We got the numbers to prove it. Every month, Capcom puts out the official stats of character usage, win-loss data, all that kind of stuff. You're seeing some of this on the screen right now. Now, when it comes to the rankings, at Rookie and Iron, Zangief's usually the terror. At Bronze rank, Honda wins the second most of all the characters. At Silver rank, Honda wins the most. At Gold rank, Honda wins the most. At Platinum rank, Honda wins the most. At Diamond rank, Honda wins the most. At Master rank, Honda wins the most. Now, obviously, with Master rank, there's the MR system and just a wide gulf between the amount of players and, skill levels, sure, but just purely crunching the numbers as Capcom gives them, Honda wins the most just by a little bit. So, with that said, at all these ranks, Honda wins the most. Does that make him the best character? No! Are you crazy? Of course not. Honda sucks. But, in a very casualized setting, yeah, Honda wins the most. Does he make tournament appearances? Does he show up in the invitationals? No. Anyone smart enough to get invited to an invitational would never play Honda. They're not exactly looking to sabotage their chances now, are they? But still, there's obviously a story to be told there. And especially, lower ranks, part of the reason why Honda wins the most is because headbutt and butt slam spam are way too much. And that's why potentially nerfing a lower tier character is smart. So we already covered it in the balance video, but just to reiterate, I guess, in the newer build of the game, Things like butt slam, once you get blocked, you're pushed out much further than before. So Honda can't, for lack of a more eloquent term, Honda you as badly as he could before. He's pushed out, so you can't just butt slam loop forever as easily. Butt slam, block, force to block a jab, butt slam, repeat ad infinitum. And of course as well, headbutts got nerfed, because if you jump over a headbutt, no matter what strength the headbutt it is now, if the headbutt goes under a jumping person, headbutt just stops. They don't go flying across the screen, completely safe. There's a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance the person who jumped the headbutt can punish them, especially if they get the read and do the jump back. Now, yes, ideally you're supposed to perfect parry, get the punish, all that, but at even, master, it can be hard, right? And any level below master, forget about it. People are not going to be prepared to deal with that. So the things that make Honda such a winner in lower levels is very frustrating to people, and that's why there's a lot of animosity against the character. So these aspects are being nerfed. And you could argue, and I wouldn't even necessarily disagree, nerf for the benefit of the game, for the health of the game, for the health of the player base, so they don't got to deal with, frankly, such stupidity. Now, it's not to say it's only nerfs. Like, as we go over in the video, please check out the video, Honda's getting fairly significant buffs, but they're getting smart buffs. Buffs that let him play Street Fighter itself better, make him stronger, and give him more setup pressure, all that kind of stuff. Smart, big brain, fundamentally sound Honda is getting buffed. Like the kind of Honda that could potentially show up in a tournament one day and not just be laughed off tier-wise. Gimmicky, scrubby Honda that frustrates the casual players and makes all the streamers cry, that Honda is getting nerfed. And frankly, the kind of people that find Honda frustrating, they won't really notice the buffs too much. But they certainly will notice the nerfs on the things they find frustrating. And overall, it's smart game design, right? And hopefully this mindset goes forward for all of Season 2. Obviously, Honda is the example we got. We still don't know so much about the patch, so much about the characters. Like, we do know, say, for example, Luke, the top tier terror, got buffed. And of course, many would argue he's the best character in the game, right? So how do you go about buffing the best character in the game? Well, by giving him appropriate nerfs. Honda got nerfed. He's one of the worst characters in the game, and he has appropriate buffs to kind of, change him up. And I'm sure Luke will be much the same. So some small things we know that have been discovered are buffs, sure, but I'm sure he'll have smarter nerfs that'll make him more fair and appropriately more fun to fight against. Now, of course, when it comes to fun, we already know certain aspects of the game that frankly are not fun and most people do not like say throw loops, right? Those will remain in the game, right? You might find people defend throw loops for balance reasons, but you'll find nobody that defends throw loops for fun reasons. So it ain't going to be all, sunshines and rainbows, I guess, right? But with the limited scope we do know of the changes that are being made, it gives me hope for the overall Season 2 patch, especially if that's the only one we're going to get. Hopefully they do not repeat the 1 year only phase that they went through. Hopefully, we'll get a few a year. That'd be nice. Maybe it doesn't have to be at the rate Tekken's going or anything, but hey, at least 2, 3 would be good. But the changes we're seeing, I already talked about the Honda stuff. Manon, her medals actually affect her level 3, and thus gives her more reach with her level 3. That's pretty cool, especially in a lot of, punish scenarios. Sometimes if you had a lot of medals, it's just kind of better to go for the grab. Like, don't burn the meter. Like, unless you're going to burn all your drive meter on top of your level 3, right? Like, just do the grab. The grab does a lot of damage once you're at 5 medals, right? So, making the game plan a bit more interesting. Also, another way to reward the medal system. I like that. Looks like Zangief's getting new combo routes with the fact that crouch heavy punch punish counter bounces enemies now, and stomps can combo into special moves. A lot more people that are, lower tier, like say Lily. We don't have confirmation directly, and that I couldn't, pick Lily in the build that we had. But from people playing the Japanese test version, the scuttlebutt is that she'll also have more things like more combo routes to play around with. And there's a lot of little things. We've covered a lot of, the direct hands-on with the patch, and also the rumors from the Japanese playtest as well. There's a lot of cool things going down. And a lot of the changes, even if some of them seem small, they all seem fun. They all seem to add something to the game, or at least add something to the characters. As I guess we kind of have a more total look at Honda compared to anyone else at the moment anyways. Using him as the basis for the video, it just gives me hope for Season 2. We all want it to hit big, and there is nobody that wants Season 2 to fail, right? Like, say, to compare to Street Fighter 4 from vanilla, we want Super Street Fighter 4. We don't want Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. The Super Street Fighter 4 era, I would say the majority of my good times and good feelings with Street Fighter 4 come from then. Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition is when I stopped playing the game for a year because I hated it. So let's hope Season 2 is more on, you know, the Super end of things than the Arcade Edition end of things. Any good game usually has a bounce patch misstep or two. And for Street Fighter 6, if we're going to have one, let's just push it down the road, later down the road. We'll figure it out then. But for now, let's get a good one in. So in part, I make this video because I do want to just discuss, you know, where potentially they're going. Using Honda as our base, they seem to be making changes that'll make the casual players happy, but also making the changes that'll make more advanced players happy as well. And if you can win over both sides, then that's probably going to be very good times ahead. But that's just my thoughts, so hey, there you go. I would love to know what you guys think about the whole matter as well, so hey, please post in the comments below. And other than that, well, that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.